Peace, family. My name is Vicki Dillard for African Diaspora News Channel. Thank you so much for tuning in, family. Certainly by now, some of you all may be familiar with some of my ongoing commentary about exposing the Boule, which is this so-called elite class of Black folks that they're supposed to represent academia and the best of the best in society, which that title should just be thrown away. But I often bring up different elements of them, especially their very affected impact in media and all sorts of spheres of people activity. Talk Black to me. Such individuals certainly include the Angela Ryes of the world. Now, I bring her up for a number of different reasons, of course, but in this particular context, I want you to see where podcaster Joe Budden, how many of you all have heard of him before? Joe Budden. My understanding is I believe he was a previous rapper. He does a lot of content about hip hop and stuff like that. And he has a very, very, one of the top, if not the top, Black podcast in the United States. And I want to say in a good part of the world, it's very large following. Now, I'm not like a fan or somebody that watches his show on a regular basis, but I'm bringing this up in a very unique context because I believe that a point that he made is very relevant to points that I have made over the years, especially concerning the Angela Ryes of the world. Watch this.
You, quote unquote, intellectuals seem to be pulling a lot from places that, again, like it said, you admittedly know very little about. It just comes off a way.
Yeah,
it comes off a way.
It's like if you put,
especially when you pretending to especially when you pretending to do all of this super Black kumbaya shit. I got a problem with that too. Mm-hmm. I got a problem with the people that masquerade as kumbaya, super Black, all for the people, and will be the first one to tell you how we're different. I come on here every week and say we're less different than we are alike. We just got different ideologies. But I'm not going to keep listening to people who in 25 years, I've never said the name Angela Rye. I don't give a fuck about nothing y'all talking about over there. I'm saying that respectfully. I don't come on here and say a word about any of that shit. I expect reciprocity. You could have titled that clip totally different.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Don't claim to be super pro-Black and then take the #1 Black urban podcast and put that type of stink on it because you think you got a friend over here. That don't give you a license.
I don't think it's that. I don't think if Mark was here or not. I think
if Mark was here, they would never have those conversations.
No,
they're having those conversations because their friend is up here.
No, they having those conversations because Mark is deemed an academic and an intellectual, which you are.
Well, he is, not deemed,
he
is.
No, I said what you are. So now it's, yo, why is he even there? Mm-hmm. Like Angela Yee said, yo, Mark, just come home.
Angela Rye.
Angela Rye said, Mark, just come home.
That's the other beef.
But then you go on to say how diverse Mark is. So I think that that's an insult because you don't put Mark in a box. Mark is home. Mark is a Black man sitting in a room with Black men that grew up in similar circumstances, albeit we wasn't all in the cult. You can't say he's not home.
We all had our own walks of life.
Yeah, dog. Like I just disagree with that shit. I look at
thank God there was a Black-owned, independent media company there to pick up our good brother when he was misunderstood by other outlets.
Talk about it.
Why is that part not being said by pro-Black Native Land people? I'm getting confused.
Yeah,
Mark was a free agent. Y'all had a chance to bring him home.
And didn't.
You didn't.
That's a good point.
So don't sit up on your fucking platforms all pretentious as one of the Charlemites. That's how I know you. I know you as one of the Charlemites and get to saying what Mark should and shouldn't be doing. Please. If you didn't discuss this podcast before, if by your own admittance you know very little about it, the woman Tiffany said at least 5 times that she don't give a fuck about these other opinions. All I'm asking is that you act like it.
Also, if you're...
Okay, family, did you see that? Did you see that clip right there? Did y'all see that clip right there? Now, that's a very important clip because Joe Budden in this particular instance was actually responding to Angela Rye and really her crew of Native Land. Native Land, that's Angela Rye's podcast, and she's a part of one of 3 people. Andrew Gillum, he was a mayor in one of the cities out there in Florida. At one time, he was running for governor. He got caught up in a scandalous little alleged drug, a thing with another man with this stuff tooted up in the air. It was just a lot of stuff going on. I'm gonna leave it alone. But he ended up getting all busted with that. The Democrats really they really abandoned him during that time. You would think that they would support their own, but they really abandoned him. Nevertheless, it was some drama related to that, a Fed case. He prevailed in the Fed case, but the scandal was already done. It was crazy. That's one of the co-hosts, Andrew Gillum. The other co-host is Tiffany Cross, which is she's crossways, cross a bunch of stuff. Got her wires crossed politically and just thinks that she's something and dogs everybody else. And the reason why I say she thinks she's something is because she used to be on MSNBC and they fired her 5 minutes after she kept letting Roland Martin come on her show and stuff like that. And then she did direct attacks against us, people like us. She literally called out members of the Black alternative political media folks that do some of the similar things that I do here, like I'm Brother Tariq Nasheed. She specifically called him out and told folks not to listen to us. Can you imagine being on those platforms and telling the whole wide world not to listen to us? Ain't that something? Well, yeah, but they didn't bring her back. So that shucking and jiving didn't work too well. So Angela Rye, of course, she used to be, I believe she had a contract with CNN. I think something happened with that contract. She used to either work or be a part of with some of the lawmakers rather in Capitol Hill. Of course, those days apparently are over. So these folks some folks may call them throwaways, whatever. I had suspected that Charlemagne, the guy of the Breakfast Club, was behind them putting this podcast together to make them to reinvent themselves. And I believe I was right about that because I think in one of the other previous broadcasts, much, much later after my speculation that he was behind it, I believe Angela mentioned that he was the one that came up with that or was behind it. Nevertheless, keep that context in mind because remember, it was the Angela Ryes of the world that did not properly use those platforms. Instead, they think that they better than us. And so as Joe Budden said here, that Angela is sitting there telling one of their guests, and that had to do with actually, I believe he is Queen's Flip. He got into it with Mark Lamont Hill, Dr. Mark Lamont Hill. Mark Lamont Hill is another one of them Boule professors. Now I know that I don't play with Mark Lamont Hill like that because he disrespected the great Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. So people that do that, I don't see you as powerful or important or nobody to respect. He dogged her upon her death. And he also disrespected Minister Farrakhan on some stuff, then turned around and lied about the stuff that he said about Minister Farrakhan. Child, just a hot mess. Well, I want to bring this to your attention to say that Joe Budden highlights an issue that I have been talking about for quite some time. And that is exactly my point. They believe that you shouldn't be, that they're the official voices for Black America. In fact, I've been telling you all they're bitter about that fact. I've been telling you all, including Mark Lamont Hill, that I have shown you in times past on multiple other broadcasts and other platforms I've been on over the years, that Mark Lamont Hill and these very folks, the Angela Ryes of the world, they call Minister Farrakhan dumb and a bigot and some other stuff because she was defending Netanyahu's people and stuff. I bring this to your attention to let you know that this has been something I've been highlighting the whole time, is that they only want you to see them as the official people, rolling all them. So when they was on the CNNs and when they were on the MSNBCs, they thought they was the stuff. They only see them as the stuff, even though the numbers show that more and more people are increasingly listening to alternative media. More and more people are increasingly listening to folks like me. That's when Roland started attacking me a lot. That's when the Angela Ryes of the world started doing little weird stuff, and the Tiffany Cross and stuff. They try to throw shade and stuff. Now, again, this is not no big endorsement of everything. I'm not fully knowledgeable about all the stuff that Joe Budden talks about on a regular basis. I know he has a large platform, and I know on this one particular issue, I agree with him on. I can't wait to hear what you have to say about it, family. I am so excited because I'm getting ready to release some of my high-end academies. We're going to take payment plans. I won't give you the details here. I've got a school just for my men to teach them about provision and protecting their families, as well as one for my women. That's a 90-day course teaching you the sacred secrets of the goddess and how we manifest our unique destiny. Go to my website at VickiPlanet.com to get the details. That's VickiPlanet.com. Share the broadcast. I can't wait to see you again.